Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chill English Channel, where learning English is calm, simple, and enjoyable. I'm Sophia, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
And I'm Jake. Hello everyone, it's great to have you here with us. I hope you are feeling relaxed and ready to learn. How are you today, Sophia?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Jake. I feel calm, happy, and ready to talk about something very useful today. And how about you?
I'm doing great. I have my tea next to me, I feel comfortable, and I'm excited to start this episode. It's always a good day when we record a new podcast.
That's true. And to all our listeners, before we begin, please remember to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future episodes.
Yes, and don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, your classmates, or even your coworkers. Maybe they also want to improve their English.
Exactly. And if you enjoy this episode, please give us a like. It really helps us a lot and makes us very happy.
All right, Sophia, are you ready for today's topic?
I'm ready. What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about jobs. J-O-B-S. Jobs.
Jobs. That's a very important topic. Everyone has a job, wants a job, or is thinking about a future job.
Yes, that's right. So let's start with a simple question. Sophia, what is your job?
Well, my job is I am a podcast host and an English teacher.
That's great. You help people learn English in a simple and fun way.
Thank you. I really enjoy my job. I like talking, teaching, and helping people at the same time. What about you, Jake? What is your job?
I am also a podcast host and an English teacher. I enjoy speaking with you and with our listeners. It's a very nice job.
So we both have the same job. That's interesting.
Yes, and we both enjoy it very much.
But not everyone is a teacher. There are many different jobs in the world.
That's true. People do many different things every day. Some people work in hospitals, some people work in offices, and some work outside.
Let's talk about some common jobs. For example, a doctor.
A doctor is a very important job. A doctor helps people who are sick.
Yes, doctors work in hospitals or clinics. They help people feel better.
My cousin is a doctor. He works in a big hospital and he is very busy.
I can imagine. Being a doctor is not easy. It is a very responsible job.
That's right. What about a teacher?
Well, we are teachers. A teacher helps students learn new things.
Yes, teachers work in schools, online, or in language centers.
Another job is a chef.
I like that job. A chef cooks food.
Yes, a chef works in a restaurant and prepares meals for people.
I love good food. Do you like cooking, Sophia?
Yes, I do, but I'm not a professional chef.
Same here. I can cook simple food, but nothing special.
That's okay. Cooking is still a useful skill.
Another job is a driver.
Yes, a driver drives a car, a bus, or a taxi.
Drivers help people go to work, go to school, or travel to different places.
My uncle is a bus driver. He drives a big bus every day.
That's interesting. It's an important job.
Yes, it is. Now, what about a police officer?
A police officer helps keep people safe.
They work in the city and help stop crime.
Yes, they also help people in difficult situations.
Another job is a firefighter.
Firefighters are very brave. They help put out fires.
They work in a fire station and help in emergencies.
That is a dangerous job, but very important.
Yes. And what about an artist?
An artist creates art, like paintings or drawings.
I like art. It's creative and beautiful.
Me too. Some artists also work online now.
That's true. Technology is changing many jobs today.
Yes, many people now work on computers.
For example, people who work in an office.
Yes, office jobs are very common.
In an office, you can find a secretary.
A secretary answers phone calls and writes emails.
They help organize the office.
And there is also a manager.
A manager is the boss of the team.
Yes, the manager helps the team work well together.
That's a good word. Team. T-E-A-M.
A team is a group of people who work together.
It's important to be friendly with your team.
Yes, being friendly makes work easier and more enjoyable.
I agree. Now, let's talk about what we say at work.
Good idea. Communication at work is very important.
When you arrive at work in the morning, what do you say?
You say, "Good morning."
Yes, it's polite and friendly.
And when you leave work, you can say goodbye or see you tomorrow.
Or have a nice evening.
That's a nice one.
Now, what if you need help at work?
You should be polite. Don't just say, "Help me."
Yes, that's not very polite. You can say, "Excuse me."
And then say, "Can you help me, please?"
Perfect. The word please is very important.
Yes, and thank you is also very important.
If someone helps you, always say thank you.
And they will say, "You're welcome."
These are simple but very useful phrases.
Yes, they are very important in the workplace.
Now, let's talk about meetings.
A meeting is when people talk together about work.
In a meeting, it is important to listen carefully.
Yes, listen to your manager and your team.
And if you want to speak, you can say, "Excuse me, I have a question."
Or, "I have an idea."
That's right. Sharing ideas is important.
It shows that you are thinking and working hard.
Now, what if you make a mistake?
Everyone makes mistakes. It's normal.
Yes, it's okay. The important thing is what you say.
You should say, "I'm sorry, it was my mistake."
And you can say, "I will fix it."
That shows responsibility.
Yes, it does. It's very professional.
Communication at work should be clear and polite.
I agree. Clear and simple English is the best.
So today we are learning about jobs and workplace language.
Yes, and this is very useful for everyday life.
And also for your future career. And now we can talk more about jobs and maybe how to get a job.
Yes, that sounds like a great idea. Let's talk about getting a job and what happens before you start working.
You mean the job interview, right?
Exactly, the job interview. Many people feel nervous about interviews.
Yes, I remember my first interview. I was very nervous. My hands were shaking a little.
That's completely normal. Many people feel the same way. But an interview is just a conversation.
Yes, it's a conversation where the manager asks questions and learns about you.
And you also learn about the job and the company.
That's right. So let's talk about some common interview questions.
Good idea. The first question is very common. It is, "Tell me about yourself."
Ah, yes. That question sounds simple, but it can feel difficult.
Yes, because it is very open, but we can answer it in a simple way.
So how can we answer it?
First, say your name. For example, "Hello, my name is Sophia."
Okay, that's easy.
Then say what you do now or what you did before. For example, "I am a student," or "I work in a shop."
So I can say, "My name is Jake. I am an English teacher."
Perfect. And then you can say something positive about yourself.
Like what?
For example, "I am a hard worker," or "I am very friendly."
Oh, I see. So something good about your personality.
Yes, exactly. Something that is good for the job.
Let me try. "Hello, my name is Jake. I am an English teacher. I am friendly and I like helping people."
That's an excellent answer. It is simple, clear, and positive.
Thank you. That feels easy now.
Good. Now, let's talk about another common question. Why do you want this job?
Yes, that's also very common. The manager wants to know if you are interested.
Exactly. You should give a positive and honest answer.
So what can we say?
You can connect your interests with the job. For example, "I like helping people."
That's good for jobs like teacher or doctor.
Yes. Or if it's a job in an office, you can say, "I like working with computers."
That makes sense.
Or for a restaurant job, you can say, "I love food and I enjoy talking to people."
That sounds natural and friendly.
Yes, it shows your personality and your interests.
I think it's important to smile when you answer.
Absolutely. A smile makes a very good impression.
Even if you are nervous, a small smile can help.
Yes, and take a deep breath before you answer.
That's a good tip. Now, what is another common question?
Another question is, what are your skills?
Skills. S-K-I-L-L-S. Skills are things you can do well.
Exactly. So you should talk about your abilities.
Like using a computer?
Yes, that is a very important skill today. You can say, I can use a computer.
What about languages?
That's a great one. You can say, I can speak English and another language.
That is very useful for many jobs.
Yes, especially jobs where you talk to people.
Can we also say things like, I learn quickly?
Yes, that is an excellent skill.
Why is that good?
Because it shows that you are ready to learn new things.
I understand. Managers like people who can learn fast.
Exactly. You can also say, I am a good listener.
That's important for teamwork.
Yes, and for communication.
So, let's review. For tell me about yourself, we say our name, our job, and something positive.
Correct.
For why do you want this job, we connect our interests to the job.
Yes.
And for what are your skills, we talk about what we can do well.
Perfect summary, Jake.
Thank you. I'm learning too.
We are all learning together.
Now, I have a question. At the end of an interview, the manager often asks, do you have any questions?
Yes, that is very important.
Some people say, no, I don't have questions.
But it's better to ask at least one question,
Why is that?
because it shows that you are interested in the job.
That makes sense. So, what kind of question can we ask?
A simple question is, what does a normal day in this job look like?
That's a very good question.
Yes, it helps you understand the job better.
Can we also ask about the team?
Of course, you can say, who will I work with?
That shows you care about teamwork.
Exactly.
I think interviews are not so scary now.
Yes, when you prepare, they become easier.
Preparation is very important.
Yes, practice your answers before the interview.
Maybe with a friend or in front of a mirror.
That's a great idea.
Also, wear clean and nice clothes
Yes, your appearance is important.
and arrive on time.
Always arrive early if possible.
Being late is not good.
No, it gives a bad impression.
So many small things can help you.
Yes, small things make a big difference.
I feel more confident now,
That's great to hear.
and I think our listeners will feel more confident too.
I hope so. Learning these simple phrases can really help in real life.
Yes, English is not only for studying, but also for daily situations.
Exactly, and jobs are a big part of our lives.
We spend many hours at work every day,
So it's important to feel comfortable and confident.
and to communicate clearly with others.
Yes, communication is key.
Now, maybe we can talk more about daily work life and routines.
That sounds perfect. So now let's talk about daily work life and what people do every day in their jobs.
Yes, this is very useful because many of our listeners already have jobs or will have jobs soon.
Exactly. So, Jake, what is a typical day like for you?
Well, I usually start my day in the morning. I wake up at around 7 a.m.
That's early.
Yes, a little early. Then I drink coffee and check my messages.
Do you start work right away?
Not immediately. First, I prepare my lessons because I teach English.
Preparation is very important for teachers.
Yes, it helps the class go smoothly. Then I start teaching.
How many classes do you have in a day?
Usually 3 or 4 classes.
That's a busy day.
It is, but I enjoy it. What about you, Sophia?
My day is similar. I also wake up in the morning and prepare for the podcast or my lessons.
Do you work from home or in an office?
I mostly work from home.
That's nice. Working from home is very popular now.
Yes, many people work from home today.
Some people prefer working in an office, though.
That's true. In an office, you can talk to your team face to face.
Yes, and it's easier to have meetings.
Speaking of meetings, what do people usually do in meetings?
In meetings, people talk about plans, problems, and ideas.
Yes, and they share updates about their work.
It's important to listen carefully in meetings.
And to speak clearly when you have something to say.
sometimes meetings can be long.
That's true, but they are important for teamwork.
Yes, teamwork is very important in most jobs.
Let's talk about working with other people.
Good idea. When you work in a team, you need good communication.
Yes, you need to be polite and respectful.
And also patient.
That's right. Not everyone works the same way.
Sometimes you agree and sometimes you disagree.
And that's okay.
Yes, it's normal. You can say, I understand your idea, but I think.
That's a polite way to disagree.
Being polite is very important at work.
Yes, it helps create a good environment.
Now, what about breaks?
Breaks are important. People need time to relax.
Yes, during a break, you can drink coffee, eat something, or talk with coworkers.
It helps you feel refreshed.
Exactly. After a break, you can work better.
Now let's talk about problems at work.
Yes, sometimes things don't go as planned.
For example, you may have too much work.
Or you may not understand something.
In that case, it's okay to ask for help.
Yes, you can say, excuse me, can you help me with this?
That's a very useful phrase.
And if you make a mistake, what should you do?
You should say, I'm sorry, it was my mistake.
And then say, I will fix it.
Yes, that shows responsibility.
Managers like responsible workers.
Definitely.
Now, let's talk about ending the workday.
Yes, at the end of the day, people finish their tasks.
And sometimes they make a plan for the next day.
That helps you stay organized.
Then you can say goodbye to your coworkers.
You can say, see you tomorrow.
Or have a good evening.
Simple and friendly.
Sophia, do you feel tired after work?
Sometimes, yes, but I also feel happy when I finish my work.
That's a good feeling.
Yes, especially when you enjoy your job.
That's very important. Finding a job you enjoy is great.
Even if the job is not perfect, you can still learn and grow.
Yes, every job teaches you something new.
That's a very positive way to think.
Thank you.
So today, we talked about many things.
Yes, we talked about different jobs like teacher, doctor, chef, and driver.
We talked about polite language at work.
And we talked about job interviews and daily work life.
That's a lot of useful English.
I think our listeners learned many new words and phrases today.
I hope so. Remember, practice is very important.
Yes, try to use these phrases in your daily life.
Even small practice helps a lot.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Mistakes are part of learning.
Exactly.
Now, before we finish, we have a question for you.
Yes, we want to hear from you.
What is your job? Or what job do you want in the future?
Please write your answer in the comments.
We love reading your messages.
And don't forget to subscribe.
And share this episode with a friend.
Thank you so much for listening.
We really appreciate you being here with us.
Keep practicing your English every day.
And have a wonderful day.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. See you next time.